Donc lorsque je flingue, c'est toute ma putain de nation qui flingue avec moi. Tu vois ce que je veux dire?
Welcome back, everyone. This is Poodle with 3 rounds. We're going to have Coach Terry join us kind of in progress. He just got tied up with some things. Hopefully, will join us shortly. Well, we're kind of getting back into the swing of things. Took a little bit of break, had the Olympics, all that stuff set up. But now we're going to start getting back into just interviewing some of the boxers who've are doing big things on the amateur level. And even though our focus is definitely the amateur, we're also going to take a look at those boxers who are now transitioning to the pros. And that's exactly who we're going to talk to today. We're going to have a boxer who just standout amateur career, really did, was in a lot of exciting bouts, tough bouts, a lot of bouts just in general, and was winning more than that. So definitely, let's just go ahead and get into it. We're going to Maryland today. Let's bring the champ in here. Hey, champ, how we doing?
Man, what's up?
Hey, go ahead and say your name, city, and state, and the name of the gym that you train at.
I'm Jordan Iceman Roach from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, coming out of Noah Skis Boxing.
All right. And to anybody who really follows amateur boxing, has been following for a few years, definitely know the name, definitely know who you are. But everybody got started. The first question I like to ask everyone who jumps on is, how do you get involved with boxing?
My father just took me to the gym out of nowhere. Like, I was playing football and then I didn't feel like playing no more. And my brother was already boxing, and my cousin Bernard Roach, he was the coach, and my father was also a coach. So he just took me to the gym when I was like 7. I've been going to the gym every day ever since.
Oh, okay. So you did football first, and then you just went over to boxing. Did you do any other sports while you were boxing? Was it boxing like that? That was the only sport that you were focused on, or were you doing other things coming up?
Nah, it was just boxing, nothing else.
And with just having family members there, just kind of being a part of the sport, what kept you coming back? Because this is very much an individual sport because you're the one in there. But what was it about it that kept you coming back to the gym and really kind of focus on it and kind of dedicate yourself a little bit more to it?
I mean, I just kept going, and I was getting good. So, I started to like it. It wasn't really like I didn't really fall in love with the sport, as you say. I just was just going every day, and this is just part of my life now.
Okay. So, and winning probably didn't, that I'm sure that helped, right? Getting your hand raised and just kind of that whole feeling. And, walk us through that when you're starting to compete, you're starting to win. Like, what was that feeling like? And did you get right back in the gym afterwards?
I always got right back in the gym. Like, yeah, I got back in the gym quicker after a loss. So it wasn't really the winning that excited me. It was like losing. I don't like to lose. So I would get right back in the gym and work on stuff. But see, me, when I started winning, it was just a better feeling because a lot of these fighters, they'd be like 19-time national champ, and it'd be like Sugar Burts and Mayor's Cups, and I got 7 nationals, and 6 of them are USA nationals, 15, 16 and above. So I wasn't getting all those nationals. I was 11, 12, 13, 14. So when I started to win, it was like really impactful in my career.
I love that you made that distinction because there is a lot of boxers out there, and I don't knock anybody, but national champion, okay, what tournament was it? Who do you compete against? How the bracket, the weight that you were competing at, it was pretty stacked. Any tournament going up, all the age levels. So when you were coming out on top, you fought some boxers there, and that makes a difference as to, where do you put that title at. How many bouts do you have? So, or did you compile as an amateur?
I only have around 60 something. I'm in the 60s. That's about it.
Oh, okay. Because nowadays it's not rare to get somebody with 150, 200.
150, 300, 200. Then people be lying about them amateur records. I seen somewhere it said Tank record is like 250 and 4. Come on now. Let's be real. I mean, you
Yeah,
can't track it, but like I could easily lie and say I was 110 and they would believe me because they seen me fight. So they would believe it. Like you can't track it, but I got like 60.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, fair points about that because everybody know who they are when they start kind of fucking up the record a little bit, and it is what it is. But out of those 60 bouts, you can check a box rec or whatever, just fighting the best at that division.
Yeah, and I
I
was
don't
always fighting the best.
always.
I always went to nationals. I didn't have no showbouts for real. I had like 3 showbouts my whole career.
Okay, and was that by choice? Just you just got more competition over there, or what was the decision? You just trying to get the best work?
They didn't want to fight me. It's like they was like, "Oh, Jordan Roach." I seen a coach. We had the silver gloves. They say the other kid's name, and then they say Jordan Roach. The coach goes and grabs the registration, takes it, and then rips it up. I said, "Oh, we not fighting."
See, man, I don't know about that. Hey, they gotta know something. They see you and all that. But out of those 60 plus bouts, do you have any memorable bouts? Like you said, you fought whoever you had to fight. Everybody who was top there. But do you have any stand out to you?
I mean, I fought Richard Fernandez like 5 times. I fought Cash Flow. I fought Abdullah Mason. I fought Ryan 3 times.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, that's all I can think of right now.
Any of those that just stand out to you? Maybe a good win, maybe one that you learned a lot from. Just when you look back into your amateur career, or do they all just, they were all tough bouts? They were all kind of, you always look back at those.
I mean, some of them more tough. Like some of them more tough than others. Like some of my wins were more tough than those losses. Like I fought Richard 5 times, and I don't think I should be on 5. I don't think anybody that could watch those fights can think that. But I rock with Richie. He's about to have another fight coming up. It's a cool
Yeah,
dude. It's just I don't like the judging in those fights, and I just don't like it. He's just such a good guy, so it's like I can't talk shit about him.
yeah. I mean,
And then
all you
it's
can do is get in there in the ring and compete, right? Like,
uh,
yeah, that's another whole thing. As you go through your experience as an amateur boxer, what was some of those things that shaped you through your amateur experience? To just approaching the sport and kind of knowing that maybe not everything is going to go pan your way, even though now in the pros is a little different because it's not so wins are big and how your career kind of flows. But as you were going through those experiences and seeing some of those decisions kind of just scratching your head, how did you approach the sport when you saw that all that was happening?
yeah, the like I said, those questionable decisions of my whole career. I don't believe I was ever gifted anything. If it was a close fight, I don't. I probably didn't get it. Like I wasn't gifted anything, so that just taught me that I gotta go out there and take it every time. And
Definitely.
that's
and,
just how
and
right now. I'm going in there. I'm going in there to hurt people. I'm not going in there to score points and win. I'm going in there. I'm going there to win and hurt you, not just to get on the scoreboard.
yeah, definitely. And I've seen you compete plenty of times, and you can see it by your style. And to somebody that hasn't seen you in the amateurs and is starting to kind of see what you're going to be doing at the pros, how would you describe yourself? What kind of boxing style? What are you trying to do when you get in there in the ring?
Um, I'm trying to hit you in the face. I mean, I do what I gotta do depending on the fighter. Like there might be a fighter that you would see they walk somebody down, and I might walk them down, or it might be a fighter that they box somebody, I might box them. It's whatever I feel like. it's the best strategy. I'm gonna go out there and do. I could do anything.
There you go. Versatile, right? You got to be able to adapt to the styles, and that is a huge part of just the amateur level as a whole, because you want to get all those different styles in front of you, right? You're going to be able to see that you can adapt, because when you get to the pros, you'll have a lot more tools in your tool belt, as they say. So to be able to adapt. Now, when we were, another thing too that I've noticed, people say, especially boxers going to the pros, hey, he was an amateur standout, and they use the standout portion of it a little too loosely. I mean,
Yeah,
but
they don't really be standouts.
there'd be, I'm like, what do they win? Like, but that's not your case. I mean, you
No.
Team USA, you were at the OTC plenty of times for camps. You competed overseas. Tell me a little bit about that experience, uh, being a part of Team USA, being alongside USA boxing staff and competing internationally. Just that whole experience. How would you kind of sum up your experience with USA boxing?
Um, it's a lot of good, a lot of bad. I mean, I thought like me being there, my time there, just forget everything in the background, everything that's happened. I loved it. Being there is you just walk right to the gym, you walk right to get food, and everything's paid for. You're going out traveling. You got five attentive coaches with you, so you gotta get. They're always looking at you to do something better. They're looking at your flaws and everything, so you gotta get better. You're fighting against the best fighters in America, so it's either sink or swim. You either gonna get punished up in there, or you gonna rise to the occasion. So I felt like my whole year there, I liked it. It's just like I said, just minus other the other stuff that I'm talking about.
Right, most definitely. And sometimes we get a little bit earful, because we are a little bit critical of some of those things that do happen behind the scenes, because of how much impact that has to a boxer, an individual, right? Decisions not going away, not getting the camp. I mean, it does have an impact, especially in a sport that it really demands name recognition. They got to know you, right? Especially in the pros, they got to know you if you're going to be selling tickets and do all that stuff. And the way that you develop that is at the amateur level. And if there's like things blocking you, or maybe it's not,
Yeah, like
being,
fighting in the rematch in the Olympic trials
yeah.
is.
Well, let's get to it. I was going to build up to it, but the Olympic trials, we were talking probably the whole year leading up, just saying this is if you guys don't know what's happening, this is not going to be a typical Olympic trials, and not just the we could get to the tournament, which was wild in itself. But what did you think about the whole process and just everything that's changing? And one of the biggest things I saw is almost every tournament, the Team USA boxer has to compete in those trials. That didn't happen. Like, leading up to that tournament, how were you taking all that?
See, me, I'm not all the way over here with the USA boxing is terrible, and I'm not all the way over here with USA boxing is good. I'm more so like
Mhm.
in the middle somewhere. So like the fighters not fighting, I don't like that. I can agree with it a little bit. Okay, like the world championships, somebody they just want to go in the world championships. Me personally, as a fighter, I'm like I'm not going to no nationals. I just got y'all a gold medal in the world championships. I can agree with that. Sitting there for 4 years is insane.
Yeah.
4 years, 4 years sitting down, not fighting in an amateur tournament in America for no 5 years, not 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
That's insane, and that's unfair. Cause who's to say you step in there with me? You step in there with anybody your weight. Who's to say you don't lose to the 16th seed? You don't know.
Right. No, and I think it's just trying to get that level playing field. And I agree with you. I think most people that kind of see what's happening should land right in the middle, right? And nothing's perfect over here, but there's some things that are just it,
Doesn't make sense.
it does not make sense. I guess that's what you would say. Uh, Real quick, this is 3 Rounds Live number 200. Jordan Roach, we're talking to him. He's up in Maryland. Is it Upper Marlboro or where are you at?
Yeah, up in my Maryland, or you could say DC for real, because some
DC.
people I get Maryland confused with Baltimore. We're not Baltimore. We just say
Yeah,
DC.
DC. Okay, all right, out in DC. Has had one pro fight under his belt, getting ready for that second one coming up next month, October 19th. So we'll get into all those details and pro debut and all that. But let's just kind of wrap it up, or let's talk about a little bit more about the Olympic trials, because due to something that was completely out of your hands, you had fought the bout, and the timing of the rounds was 2 minute instead of 3 minute rounds. So you went through a whole bout, got the decision, everything, but then you got the news that you got to fight again. Like how did that whole thing unfold? How do you guys take it? Because you guys had a fight. It was the next day, right?
Yep, and it was supposed to be a championship, but didn't happen.
It did not happen. What I mean, how did coach? How did everybody take that? Just that whole situation.
We didn't like it. We was pissed off because it's so much. It's so many layers to it. Like you said, I didn't got nothing to do with that.
Mhm.
Then it was 5-0, clean sweep, like clean sweep.
No.
Then we not on Peacock no more. So like the people on Peacock, they still on Peacock. Like the whole trials is on Peacock except the people that had the rematch.
Yeah.
So we the only ones not on there and not getting seen by nobody. They can't go to on Olympic trials and be like, oh, that's Jordan Roach. He's special. They can't go and see that. Um, Training after to fight in a championship. Then let's say you go to Colorado with no cameras, just your coaches there. You might get robbed again, or you might get robbed. You might lose, but you just training for another month, thinking you about to get a chance to get the spot. And then I believe I was really the only one that was gonna take that spot. I knew I knew after they said it was overturned
Mhm.
that the guy in that spot was going to the Olympics. So it's just it's just too much. It's not it's so much that went wrong that is insane. I think that was one of the worst tournaments I ever been to in my life.
I second that. I put it out there as well. Just one of the worst run with tournaments, and especially a tournament that builds up. It comes every 4 years. There's no surprise, and the significance of it, and still having some of these issues in the beginning. The brackets had to be reshuffled. That was a whole, that was a thing.
The brackets
It-
got reshuffled like 5 times. Then it got reshuffled again when we
Mhm.
left. So say you were fighting that day, or you thought you wasn't fighting, and you would to go eat breakfast, and
Mhm.
if somebody called you, say you're fighting, you would have to lose weight.
Yeah, and then the whole Amir Anderson, Obed.
Here, Obed, it's messed up on both ways. See me, if that was my coach, and the ref waved it off, I would have took my gloves off. I'm like, I'm not fighting him. You just waved it off. Then, on the other hand, Amir won clearly. If you watch that fight,
After, yeah.
clearly won after. Then you overturn it again, and then you overturn it again, and then you tell Lugo he got to fight after he already didn't make the team. Why would Lugo fight Amir if he already didn't make the team?
Yeah, yeah, and ultimately, just to kind of finish up that storyline, uh, ultimately, it was Raheem's spot, anyways, and you know what I mean, like the winner of the trial was not going to get a fair shot. That's just what it
And
is.
and Amir won in Pueblo too, and he
Yeah,
still
he Amir did everything he needed to do, and still
he
not
it's
got
literally
the.
nothing he couldn't have did better.
Yeah,
But
exactly. It was it's wild, and now usually after the Olympic or the trials and the Olympics, it's when we start seeing a kind of a surge of elite amateur boxers turning pro, and we saw you turning pro earlier this year. Did the pro talk of going pro before the trials? Did you already know, like, regardless of what happens, I'm just gonna go pro, or did the experience like this of just the whole trials and the whole situation, did that prompt your decision to say, you know what, maybe I should take a closer look at this pro situation?
I would no. It was always gonna be pro at the end of the day. Like me being out there and traveling and free. I'm like, if they would have paid me, I probably would have thought about staying because I was thinking about it. But then again, it's like, do I want to go through all that again? And they're not gonna have boxing. They changed the weights. I would have to go up from 112 to 121. And then they already got somebody else they would want to be at 121. So
Yeah,
am I gonna be their favorite like how that whole team was their favorites for 4 years?
yeah, yeah,
So it's like if you are, then that's good. If you don't know, then
yeah. It's that lack of transparency, right? At the end of the day, it's medals, and I think the result of the ultimately with Amari Jones getting the only medal for the U.S. team. I mean, I asked a question. I posed a question a couple days later. Are we okay to question what's happening over there, because they flipped and switched the whole program around to put us in a better position. I argue that we're probably in a worse position. I don't know how many of these boxers are going to stick around another 4 years, right? You got some boxers with some pro aspirations, and I mean, I think being in the amateurs too long is a thing. You don't want to stick around too long, because then all those habits and little niches that you get from being an amateur, sometimes a little hard to shake off when you're in the pros. So, but knowing that you were going to go pro, like these last tournaments, at least these last bouts, what were you trying to still kind of perfect in the amateur game that you think was going to help you transition a little easier when you started to go into the pro level?
We always trained for the pros since the start. Like since I started boxing at 7, we were training for the pro game. We never trained to be amateurs. That's why when I went up to the camp, it was such a difference. And then like just trying to hit people for like points, it was way different than what I do. I'm like I said, I'm trying to go in there and hurt you. And then all the other countries, I mean the fighters up there, they're trying to score points on you. And then, like I said, I'm adaptable at the start. So when I started doing that, I'm like, hey, I'm piecing this guy up. Be like, when the other countries would come over, I'm like, this is easy. I can go medal easily doing this. So
Definitely. Yeah, no,
I wasn't really trying to perfect any specific thing in the amateurs to go pro. I was already trained for going pro.
awesome. Yeah. So you already kind of, when they say pro style, you usually think of pace. You think of, where you're trying to connect punches, body work, or just the physicality, as opposed to an amateur who tends to be light on their feet, going in and out, that kind of style. And anytime I had seen you compete, especially towards the finals or towards deeper in the bracket, I would see you getting closer. I would see you, just really working your opponent down and start really breaking them down, right? So you already had this kind of pro aspect to it. So when you did make that crossover to the pros, you had this bout June 28th. You had your pro debut in DC. Did anything surprise you? Like walk us through just the preparation and for anybody that didn't see the bout, like just walk us through what happened.
I mean, it was easy. Like I felt sharper because that extra day it made me feel way better. My punches were sharper, so it was easy. And like I said, I've been fighting high level my whole life. I've been going to nationals my whole life. I was just on Team USA fighting I was fighting other countries number ones. So and then when you go to the pros, you kind of take a step down. So it was a cakewalk, to be honest.
Is it how difficult is it to get bouts? You got your second one lined up in October, but how's that whole aspect of the pro game? Getting bouts. It's not just like going to a tournament and then you got bouts. Like how's that whole aspect different?
My father handles all of that, so I don't know. I know it. I know naturally it's gonna be harder since I fight super fly
Mhm.
instead of like 147 welterweight. So it's gonna be probably a little harder for me. But my father's a great manager. He handles all that. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't even ask, to be honest, on most stuff.
Yeah, yeah. You let him take care of that, and uh,
Yes, I
but
want Roach Jr.'s little bro for whoever asks.
oh yeah, yeah, no, most definitely. That's the one. Don't mistake about that. But so did you? What has been the biggest challenge, if that, jumping into the pros? It seems like you were kind of adapt to it. You were already kind of doing that. That anything changed? What about the training regimen? Is the training a little bit different, or you already been kind of trained as a pro anyways, or how's that that whole change?
Just training for longer rounds. That's about it. Longer rounds instead of 3 rounds at throwing 1,000 punches. Just 4 rounds, a little slower, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, those type of things. Placing your punches more. I mean, like I said, we already do that, but just more emphasis on stuff like that.
Okay, and just like the amateurs, it's a whole process to get up, go up and up a level. What are your short term goals that you have right now in the pros? Your long term goals, like how do you see, how active do you want to be, and do you what do you see yourself in the next year or two lining up? Tell us a little bit about your plans.
I mean, I'm already 21. Like, I don't got to be the youngest world champ ever. Blah blah blah. Like, I'm gonna take the fights when I'm ready. But I feel like I want to be active and fight fight actively, reasonably, 4 times, 5 a year, so I can keep developing and show my skills off. Because I already got it. Like, I already got it. Like, I'm there. So just with experience, I'm gonna keep getting better, and eventually I'll be a world champ. I don't know when. I won't give you a timeline, but it'll be soon.
There you go. And people have seen you, um, know that you're real about that. A lot of people just try to talk themselves up. No, there's definitely none of that. Like I said, you've done everything you are expected to at the amateur level. I think you've succeeded, and you've been on the podium. You did all that stuff, and it's just about that expectations in the pros. And nowadays, at least this generation is dealing with something that the past boxing generations didn't really deal with, which is the social media. Right. This is another thing that could be, it could be good, it could be bad, but it helps, especially in the promotion aspect of it. How do you plan to build your brand, connect with fans? Now being a professional boxer, that maybe wasn't something that you really thought of when you were an amateur.
Um, I need to start posting all the time. Like, that'll get me up. I need to start. But I always plan on connecting with fans, like being like genuinely interactive with fans, not just responding. Like, if people you can ask me for something, I plan on being that type of fighter, being that type of person, just communicating with all my fans, or at least trying to get as many as I can. And as far as the marketing, I need to start posting, because it'd be some scrubs with like 40,000 followers, and they're on these platforms that their skill level doesn't relate to their following. So
Man, I appreciate you putting that in the nicest terms possible. I know exactly what you mean, but it's part of the game now, right? It's something, like you said, wasn't there before, but you got this whole influencer side of boxing now. It's more like a entertainment version of boxing, I guess you could say, and how that's happening. What are your thoughts on that? On maybe individuals that kind of bypass the whole amateur aspect of it and just went straight into doing these influencer type matchups.
I mean, I don't really care if it's influencer boxing, and just be influencer boxing. And then if you want to call out a boxer, fight the boxer. Get the boxer paid. Some people gonna want to see you, but you just gonna get punished. Like who? Speedy Dean, Kermel will stop him in 1 round.
Yeah,
Not 2 rounds, not three, 1 round.
yeah,
So, like I said, if he's gonna do that, I think he should just stick to Misfits boxing,
yeah,
or he can try to fight some boxers, but just stop calling out people like Kermel, because
yeah.
you're gonna get punished.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's definitely. I think there's a home for it, but that when you start mixing some of those things, they'll find out real quickly that you can't fake that, against a real boxer. So, um, looking back at your amateur career, is there anything that you would have want to do differently, or just looking back at it, what do you think of what you have accomplished? Because sometimes boxers don't do that. They don't step back and look at all the belts, look at all that. So not everybody can do and accomplish that at any level. Well, anything that just looking back, anything you think of in regards to your amateur career?
Um, Not really. I mean, nah, I don't have no regrets for real. I mean, I wish some decisions could have went the right way. That's about it. I wish my case would have went the right way, so I would have ended up fighting Terry instead of, or I wish I wouldn't have had to even fight Alex again. But that's not what you were asking, to be honest. So
Yeah, yeah,
I
but
don't have
no.
I don't have no regrets in the decisions I made. No.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, the ones that you could have done that you had any type of say on it, it seems like you're good with what happened. And with that experience that you had with the sport, with the amateur level specifically, what kind of advice would you give young boxers that are looking to get into the sport? Maybe try to run, and try to see if they can get a Team USA spot, or trying to do any of that stuff. You being there and kind of seeing, from your angle, what any advice that you would give some young boxers that are trying to make that 8 year track, 9, 10 year track to get to that level?
Stay consistent. Educate yourself on nutrition. Get some rest, and you gotta get some heart. If you're soft, you won't make it. But you can win a lot of fights with just your heart. It'll be some people with skill who are soft in real life, and you just press them out and win. So just get your conditioning up and go out there and fight. If you lose in the fight, throw all your skill out the window. Go out there, try to win. You might win.
Definitely. There you go. There you go. From a boxer that has won. How many titles did you end up collecting at the end? How many nationals?
7.
7 national championships against the. Man, these are USA boxing ones, right?
6 USA nationals, 1 ringside world.
Hey, Rick. Hey, that term was good. I don't know why they got rid of it, but that was a nice.
They charged John Brown 10,000 each ring. That's why.
Ooh, that,
60.
okay.
So they have 6 rings at ringside. So yeah, 60,
Man.
60,000.
Uh, that's wild stuff. And it's been out for a while now, so it is what it is. What do you think one of the biggest challenges that amateur boxing has right now? Trying to
Judging.
move forward, what I mean, right there, judging. And what do you think would help alleviate that? Because that's been one of those things that we've asked, what's wrong with it? But what do you think a good solution would be for that?
I don't know. I think it should be like there's no review system at all. There's no consequences for judging. You can score a fight terribly and you're back on the table. Another thing that's bad is just the system. It's not bad. I could be revised a little bit. The system of keeping fighters there, I think, and I don't think it should be flipped if they don't meet the requirements, like they did in my case, where they said that they changed it from 2 medals They said you can have 2 medals and stay and not go to the trials, but a certain someone had one. No dissing a certain someone,
Mhm.
but they. I'm dissing the people that changed the rule. I don't know who changed the rule, but when I went on there, it said 2,
Yeah.
and then somehow they said it was 1. Even in the case when they brought up the file, it said 2, but somehow it was
Mm.
1 medal that got to stay and didn't fight. I think they shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and then yeah, that's about it. I kind of like the system, cause what if somebody just has your number at a tournament, but you're just better than them?
Right.
You bring an international camp over there. The person that lost is doing better than you against those international people. You might be better. I think it should be a more transparent point system too. Like,
Yeah.
so say you win the trials, you start off automatically with more points. The points should be displayed after every week. Like, it should be posted somewhere. It shouldn't just be like behind closed doors. The only people that know the points are you and the coaches. Everybody should know the points so we can see. And yeah, just little revisions. They should put me on the board. I think.
Hey, I'm all for it. Hey, former boxers that done things at this level should definitely have a bigger say of how to run the program. Uh, but yeah, no, great points. And um, we gotta we keep saying all these solutions or potential solutions. Hopefully somebody's listening that they can figure it out. I've seen too many young boxers that turn pro maybe a little too soon because they just got dealt a bad decision or said screw this, and they just go make a debut in Mexico or something, and then it
They
doesn't pan
might
out.
find a tough, tough duck from Mexico, who or what is the other country, or a Venezuelan or Ecuadorian,
Yeah.
who you have no film on, and then you get knocked out.
Yeah.
Typical.
It happens. I've seen a box number one and then just went pro and then lost the first bout. And then the thing is with the pros, you know, uh, losing a bout is it's kind of like getting back credit. It takes a while to get it back good and getting some people to give you a shot and go out there. So I understand it's a little bit more critical, but. Uh, you know, when you get things like that, bad judging and stuff, and then you make rash decisions, sometimes it's better served to get a little bit more experience at that amateur level. Um, so just looking back, tell us a little bit about the gym. No excuse, pros, amateurs in there. Who just tell us some of the boxers who are actively there. Who are you training alongside, and who are some of the coaches who make up this whole team?
One of the best gyms in the world, man. My father, Ben Senior, Dave Jacobs. Those are the coaches, and then the fighters. We got, of course, me and Ben, the two like that got like Ben. What he got 12 nationals, 11 USA nationals. Oh no, if you don't count silver gloves, what is about 9 USA nationals,
There you go.
and it hasn't lost. Oh yeah, that was another terrible decision in the
Oh,
trial. Ben Johnson and the ref taking 2 points for holding when he wasn't holding with no warning. But I digress. Yeah, Ben Johnson, 9 USA nationals, hasn't lost really. I mean, lost, but he lost in trials, but hasn't lost since what 2019 against Abdullah Mason, and you need to see where he's at.
yep, yep.
So me and him, like we, we proved ourselves in the amateur game. But you got other young amateurs. We got Marcel Steele, he's elite.
Mm-hmm.
We got Rashad, and then we got Hassan Jenkins. That's who gonna be the one. He just won the JOs. He beat the number one guy easily,
Yep. I,
dominantly.
I cut that bot out and I posted it up because when I saw it, looking impressive. Yeah,
Yeah,
Cy Jenkins is definitely someone to look at.
yeah. He 15 years old. That's my sparring partner. I'm 21.
Oof, look at that.
So he gonna be nice. If USA Boxing not on nothing, his age kind of lines up where he on the back end. The younger
Mm,
people they get the short end of the stick for
yeah,
that Olympic cycle. But if they somehow get him on there, he's gonna be an Olympic medalist.
There you go. There you go. There you go. No, he was impressive. We always try to keep up with the whole scene, and he definitely jumped out. I'm like, oh, this is somebody to definitely look out for. The whole DMV area has a rich boxing history. All types. I mean, what does it feel just being a boxer from that area and just kind of being the next one up?
I mean, I don't really think about it like that, to be honest. But yeah, another thing about Son, his career is kind of like mine. He only got two nationals right now, and one of them, my first USA national was the JOs. I beat Ryan Williams. I beat the number one guy. His first USA nationals, he beat the number one guy, and he got two at 15, 16, and he's about to go up to youth, and it's gonna get better. Just he's gonna rise up. He's gonna be a star.
There you go. There you go. From Jordan Roach here, our guest, 3 Rounds Live, number 200, out DC. Jordan Iceman Roach. Tell us a little bit about that nickname, Iceman. Maybe I didn't recognize it, I didn't see it, but any story behind that?
I it'll be like 1-1, or this is before the scoring, but they'd be like, "You need this round," and I go out and perform, and then Ben Johnson, the father, of course, the coach, he called me Iceman after that, basically saying, I got ice in my veins, like as in I'm clutch. So that's where it came from.
There you go. There you go. The best nicknames are where somebody gives it to you, and that's what it seems like it happened here. And I love that. Hey, that's what I like to see. And the saying, Mayweather made it famous with its hard work, dedication, and all that. I argue that boxing at whole, it's more sacrifice sometimes than it is dedication, especially for a sport that demands so much of you. So many, you got tournaments, one every 4 months, you got to travel to, all that, everything. So what are some of those, the biggest sacrifices, if you see it like that you did for the sport coming up in your whole background?
I'm gonna start with like the parents. The parents gotta sacrifice. They gotta spend money on them flights. And then for the kids, they gotta sacrifice their childhood. They gotta sacrifice going out. They gotta sacrifice who they hang with. The women. They gotta sacrifice a lot of things, and it's just it's just crazy. Like you have a whole different life from your friends. Like your friends all out all the time. You tired or you in the gym.
Yeah.
So those
Yeah.
are the biggest one. You food. Is another one. You gotta be disciplined. That's what it is. Discipline and sacrifice. That's the two main things.
Yeah, most definitely. And then I'm sure any boxer who listened to that, they relate. It's a lot of that happening. The whole aspect about you living a different life than your classmates or just friends around the neighborhood is that's real. It's real because you can't be making those outings on Saturday or whatever. You got a tournament, you got to fight, you got to do something, and it really takes a little bit away from that. So when you go to these tournaments and you're training for weeks, months, and you don't get that outcome at the end, right? The tournament, maybe the decision goes the other way or whatever the reason may be. How did you take some of those setbacks, and what kind of advice would you give some of those boxers who, nobody wants to lose, especially at national, but it's part of the sport. How do you deal with that? How do you give advice to young boxers that are going to deal with that?
I mean, it's never the end unless you want it to be. So you just gotta keep pushing. You gotta go back, get back in the gym, look at what you did wrong, and just keep working, keep improving.
Yeah, that's one of the aspects about amateur boxing. There's another tournament couple months down the road, and it's like you said, it's in their hands. They got to make that decision. They want to get back into it, get back in the gym right away. That's the best way you can shake it off, and that it's perfectly said, because I've seen some that do struggle with it. It's just what it is. Um, all right, as we start kind of wrapping it up here, um, you know, what does it take, to be as disciplined as you need to be a pro? Say you got a young boxer who's junior youth, starting to get in national level. What do you think those type of boxers need to actually go pro? A lot of people say I'm going to go pro, I'm going to pro, but then it's a different world. So, any advice for those young boxers that are thinking of maybe going to the pro ranks?
Um, you gotta lock in, man. Like you just gotta lock in. Avoid duck the women or get you a girlfriend. Like get you a girlfriend or duck the women and stay in the house. Then you should be all right. You just gotta work hard. And then if you go and do all that, at least work hard. Like Floyd, he used to be up, but he'll run home from the club. So you like that. You gotta like that. Everybody's different, but as far as the average person, you need to stay in the house, dodge the females, and put the work in.
There you go. There you go. Uh, what kind of boxers do you watch? Do you study film, or is it just kind of just how
I know I
much
need to.
Mhm.
I know I need to, but I kind of don't really study film. But boxers I like, Bam, Bam, in a way. And another thing, I don't really have to, let's say, study. I could just see it once and do it, but or have it explained to me by a coach, and it's just it already clicks. But Bam, in a way, as far as like their skill sets and what they're doing in the ring, Canelo pre 168 when he was 154,
Okay. Okay.
Canelo. Um, certain things Floyd does, not his whole overall style, but certain little tricks he does. Um, Tank, the way he throws his punches, like way he turns on them.
Yeah.
It's just a lot. It's a lot you could. I take little stuff from each individual fighter.
There you go. And as anybody should, but try to mimic the ones that are already there, right? Try to take bits and pieces, see what works for you, and adapt it to your style. Now, a lot of the boxers, not every boxer, but a lot of boxers that we do have on, their dad or mom is the coach or really a part of the whole boxing career. You had that experience with having that. How just coming up? How does it feel that every time you went to a tournament, you did this, you turn around, Pop's right there, or somebody, your teammates are right there. Like, how is it just, even though you have all this sacrifice and all these things that you have to do for the sport, there's some bonds and things that happen as you're going through the sport with the people that you have. They got your back, literally got your back. So how does it feel just going through your whole career and having that experience of sharing it with the people that are with you since day one?
Really grateful for that because you can look and see at all those other father parent relationships, and it ain't the same. Like ours is just seamless. We don't have too many problems for real. And this is another thing, I'm gonna go off topic, but like you said, how the relationships are built in USA boxing, you're living, you're basically living with those people for years.
Hmm.
You're going out in the tournaments is it's emotional. You might cry down there. The coaches is with you the whole time. I was only there for a year, and I felt like I was a part of some type of family. Right? I was on
Hmm.
there for a year. Imagine 4 or 5. How can you unbiasedly judge them people in that back room for
With the
them
spots.
high performance sheets?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I couldn't. It may be people stronger than me. I couldn't unbiasedly judge that. I couldn't
That's
unbiasedly judge
bad. That is the truth. Because these relationships that are built just because being in proximity, doing what you guys are doing, day in, day out. That's the only way you build a team. And some of these boxers who have been there, and if you go in their profile, some of those boxers, you got Billy Walsh as their personal coach, and you like, how are you going to be able to separate that when it comes to judge? And I don't think they can. I don't think they do. They can say whatever they want, but since there's transparency, I'm just going to make my assumption that is not happening, and which makes it extremely unfair. This sport is already very demanding, very unfair. It demands so much from you, and to have these obstacles in front, and it's like we're not the only ones that can see this. People see this, and I think it's a problem. How are you able to do that? Now, if you're saying that you want to create and build a team that maybe it's a team that has to be together for 2 years or something, well, okay, we'll set something up, make it that the team is going to be together for like an extended amount of time, but give everybody a shot and then go for that. Don't let people build up their hopes and say that they think they got a shot for the 80 kilo spot when nobody had a shot for that. Sorry, that's just what it is. There's a couple other spots in there, that should have been more up for grabs. 112, 50 kilo, that 112 should have been open, but it was not. And it
wasn't open because I wasn't there. That's what happened.
Yeah, there you go. And it's
because it was gonna be hard to beat him if I wasn't there. So that's all I'm saying.
Right. No. And I would have loved to seen that, unfold, but we didn't. And it's, I mean, they say it's on the results. What we got this past July was not enough to give them the benefit of the doubt, in my opinion. Are they probably going to do that? They're probably going to do that, but but you're going to be worried with the pros, man.
Some of them decisions is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
but yeah,
you've gained so much knowledge through your time in the sport. You see yourself giving back, you being a coach later on or something, or after you collect all of them belts, you see yourself being a coach, or you got the patience, because those kids, man, they'd be running wild sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the patience for that. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, somebody don't. Hey, some of us don't. I don't know if it's like maybe there's a certain, you get a certain age range or something where there's a little bit more discipline to them, but I don't know. But you do have a lot of knowledge, so maybe there's a way to kind of share that, afterwards. But tell us a little bit about this bout coming up October 19th. Where's it at? Do you know your opponent or anything? Or
it's at Rosecroft Raceway in Fort Washington, Maryland. I have no idea who my opponent is, but it's gonna be more of the same, probably even worse for him, cause I'm cracking. So he might go down. Like I said, he was gonna go down. I ain't know he was gonna get back up, that last guy, but this next guy gonna go down again, and it's gonna be a show for the fans. I'm gonna put on a performance, man. I'm a real showstopper.
There you go. And some of your stablemates are going to be on that too. I don't have the poster in front of me. Who else is going to be in that card?
Ben Johnson. You got Chada from the amateurs.
There we go.
Ben Johnson's my only stablemate, but okay. You got Chada from Pennsylvania. He's coming down there. Got Frankie Scarborough. You got Eric Hernandez. I believe. I don't even know if it's announced yet, so I'm not gonna say the other person. So.
It's all good. We'll make sure to keep plugging that away when we do see it. And I like how at the end of your pro bout, you go on your social media, you got a nice little highlight video, kind of recapping the whole thing. I'm assuming that was purposely thought of and kind of planned out. Is that I hope you guys keep on doing that. Is that the plan?
Yeah. If the person wasn't doing it again, that was my friend. It wasn't like a cameraman. So if he has the time to do it again, then it's for sure gonna be that.
There you go. Because especially in bouts or whatever, your shows that we can't see streamed or whatever, having a little something like that.
Oh no, it's gonna be on. It's gonna be on.
Oh, on ProBox. Oh, that's right. ProBox TV. Which would this be what show number? Because I know No Excuse Promotions is doing shows with Pro Box TV. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you know if how many shows have you guys been doing there? Do you guys have a certain amount? Do you know or?
Oh no, I don't know if it's a contract or anything, but this is
Okay.
the second.
Okay.
This is the second Pro Box and No Excuse Promotions show. So it's
So
gonna be on Pro Box on YouTube.
so can people search up your bout on Pro Box on the app and find
Oh
your bout in there?
yeah, it's still there.
Okay.
My pro debut is still on Pro Box.
There you
Or
go.
Lamont Roach, Fergal McCroy card. It's on there.
Okay, and I mean that's always nice. Usually when you debut, back in the day, even a few years ago, you wouldn't imagine having yours on TV. Was that a little different sitting down and watching your bout on TV?
Yeah, I watched it like 10 times already, but my father probably watched it 100 times. Every time for the 3 weeks after the fight, all I hear is the announcers just across the hallway.
Hey, he's the one doing the film study, man. So you know what I mean, or I don't know, critiquing you or something. But I'm sure deep down, he's very proud that have you doing all that stuff. So, all right, go ahead and shout outs, thank yous to everybody that has helped you get to where you're at so far.
Shout out Jesus Christ, and shout out No Excuse Promotions, aka my father, and Pro Box for giving us another opportunity to showcase our skills on October 19th at Roscoff Raceway at Fort Washington. And if you can't make it, it's going to be on YouTube. Pro Box TV is going to be live streamed. And even if you missed the live stream, you can rewatch it. So shout out to everybody involved in that. Shout out to my coaches, my family. Shout out to you for having me on there. And that's it.
There you go. There you go. And where can people follow you on, on social media?
Jordan J. Roach on every social media platform you can think of.
There you go. Perfect. Keep it nice and simple. Get everybody to know exactly where you're at and go from there. So that's all we got. Real quick, Friday, we're going to have Keon Davis. We're going to talk to him. He's also from the DMV area out there. Like I said, that area is always having some top talent. So we'll see what he's doing.
Far.
Huh?
Yeah, a little far.
Yeah.
But look, like the DMV is funny. Like you say, Baltimore not from the DMV. They from Norfolk. I'm not gonna say they not from the DMV, but it's just a little joke.
Gotcha. It's out in that East Coast area out there, but we're gonna talk to him and see what he's doing out there. But the gym, No Excuse, out in DC area, Maryland, and that's all we got. We're excited to see you continue on your pro journey, and we're going to see you on Pro Box TV. It's the good thing about these apps. Go back there. If you haven't seen his bout, you can see his fight again, and just take a peek at what's coming up. During your amateur time, there was a few times where we made sure to shout you out or make sure to let people know that you're coming out. And now that you're in the pros and doing your thing, it's it's always nice to see these other boxers that did great at the amateur level do their thing at the pros, and what I mean, that's what we're gonna keep on going. So shout out to you, to your pops, for everybody that keeps the gym going, getting all that homegrown talent, making let people know exactly what you guys are coming with. And October 19th, that will be just another chapter in this whole saga here, and we'll get to it. So Jordan, I appreciate your time. We'll be tuned in, and with that, that's all we got. We'll post this up. You guys can watch it from the beginning in case you missed anything. Jordan had something to say about USA Boxing. I'm just saying, you go ahead and check it out, and you let me know what you thought, because I agree with most of that stuff. Hey, I'm gonna be covering amateurs for a while.
Still love all the workers there, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate all of y'all.
There you go. Hey, it's on the system, not all the people. Man, people are beautiful. They always do their thing. So, Jordan, you have a good evening. We'll get into it on the 19th, and until then, we'll just keep it going. You have a good night, man.
All right, you too.
Take it easy.